it was to be around him last night.
Number 76, offense, 10-yard penalty remains, first down.
Chris Snee out of Boston College gets the flag. What a joy to be around somebody who is truly understanding of everything that can go good and bad in the game and loving every second of how good it is right now.
Got a great handle on the National Football League, Mike. Got a great handle on his career in the National Football League. Got a great handle on what OCU manure has meant to his career. And it was a lot of fun talking to him to watch him come back new and improved, invigorated, kind of reinvented himself a little bit also.
On the holding flag, first and 20. Barber in the middle trying to follow the blocks. It's 5 of the penalty yards back, and once again, here's Sam Ryan.
Oh, Mike and Sterling, OCU Manura said he doesn't think he'd be the player he is without Michael Strahan. He told me he always wanted to go home after practice, but Mike would stress watching film and lifting. Mike told me they're both from similar backgrounds. Both spent part of their childhood overseas. Neither played much in high school. Both went to small colleges. He said they really do complement each other. And as much as Mike has helped OC, Mike told us that OC changed him. He said, I'm not as moody on game days. I'm much looser now. He said he's really enjoying the game, as you guys were saying.
Key word, Mike told us, because when Mike came in the room, OC said nothing.
Did not say another word.
Barber out of the backfield, lots of room to run for Tiki. Across midfield, setting up blocks to the 40-yard line. First down and a gain of 28 yards. That lead in yards from the line of scrimmage is growing.
You know, I'm sitting here watching this play by the New York Giants. Look like an F delay, getting Tiki out of the backfield, and does a great job of finishing. They cleared it out, got him one-on-one with the linebacker, and he got a chance to finish the play. So I guess, Mike, had I handed the play sheet to the Raider fans earlier when the Raiders were 3rd and 27,
yes,
they would have called that play.
They would have called that play.
They would have called that play.
F delay?
Yes.
12 touches, 163 yards for the league leader. In the top 20 all-time in yards from scrimmage in the NFL. Carry for Mike Cloud, who the Giants have brought back on the roster here this week. His 3rd tour with the Giants. Cloud, who has carried it almost 200 times in his NFL career.
It was interesting listening to them talk about the guys they don't have. And they didn't use that as an excuse. They were like, you know what, whoever put in there has to step up. And we hear that all the time, but these guys truly believed it because their head coach believed it and instilled that in them.
2nd and 10, Raider defense in need of making a big play. Blitz was picked up. Burgess is eluded by Manning. Eli throws, it is caught, but should be offensive pass interference on the 10-year veteran Amani Toomer. He pushed Namde Asamoah in the back.
Wow.
Offensive pass interference, number 81. 10-yard penalty remains, second down.
This one was easy to call.
Yeah, I see you jumped out there on that one. That must have been one of those you wanted to beat me to it. But Namdi looks back. There's the push. Ooh, I don't know if he got both feet down anyway, but I tell you what, look at Derek Burgess using his speed coming off the corner. Just doesn't have the help on that defensive line, Mike, to force Eli Manning to stay back there and not allow him to be able to step up to avoid that kind of a sack.
Burgess Pro Bowl bound, leading the NFL with 15 sacks. As you see, no Raider has ever been there. He needs just a half sack to tie the all-time single-season Raider mark set by Sean Jones in 1985. And again, the sack's only been an official stat since 1982. So that one comes always with an asterisk. Plexico burst, touchdown earlier, spun out of bounds. On the corner by the rookie, Fabian Washington. You know, we say rookie, second-year guy, and we do it even more with the Raiders defense. A lot of young players are playing for the Raiders after the loss of their veterans on defense, Warren Sapp and Charles Woodson here in the back half of the season.
And you know what? They have played very well. They're out there battling, play in, play out, studying, watching film, and this is going to help them next season. So once again, we got Raiders saying, wait until next season, things will be better because we got our young guys getting a lot of playing time right now.
3rd and 14. 4-man rush. Burgess off the edge. Screen with Barber with room to run. Gets the first down at the 29-yard line. Center Sean O'Hara did a good job on his blocking there.
Did you say that Tiki Barber is leading the league in yards from scrimmage? I guess no one told the Raiders, because if you Derek Burgess coming off the corner, once again, no pressure in the middle, allow the quarterback to step up, and then a little screen pass out. The NFL leader in yards from scrimmage?
Yes, Tiki Barber.
I guess no one told the Raiders, because that's 2 plays on long yardage situations that he has made coming out of the backfield on similar routes like that.
He has 179 total yards in the first half. Adds to it for a couple of yards there. David Deal, the guard, pulled to help lead the way, blocking for the 10-5 Giants. 1 win away from being the NFC East champs. Barber doing all this, as we said, at age 30, an advanced year for dominant seasons by a running back. About 2,000+ yards from scrimmage after turning 30 in NFL history. Only Walter Payton and Priest Holmes in that neighborhood, and Barber's taken it beyond.
I like his career, liking it to Priest Holmes and not Walter Payton, because Walter Payton was an every down carry guy for most of his career. Tiki Barber, as we mentioned time and time again, you know, being a return guy for the first few years of his league, and over the last 3 has become the every down running back that we've grown to love.
2 yards shy of the first down there, brought down by Danny Carter as we approach 2.5 left here in this first half. And Eli Manning's going to keep the Giants at the line, try to push the pace as the Raiders are substituting and confused. They should just call a timeout. They didn't, and Barber runs left side and still stopped shy of the first down. So a good job by Big Ted Washington, the 4-time Pro Bowler, 14 years in the league. He started all the games. He and Bobby Hamilton make the charge there, and now we've got a 4th down with the 2-minute warning coming up.
Wow, I thought they had him, because they had Raiders coming off. They had Raiders going on.
Well, Rob Ryan, the defensive coordinator, was trying to get his guys to call timeout.
Yeah.
Nobody saw it. Robert Gallery out for the game with an injury for the Raiders.
There are various set running plays that will be used throughout a game. Here are some of the more common ones. The pitch is when the quarterback pitches the ball to a player, usually running parallel to the line of scrimmage. The counter is when the quarterback drops back and fakes the handoff to a back running in one direction, but then turns and hands off to a back running in the opposite direction. The reverse looks similar to the counter. However, the quarterback actually hands the ball off to the first back, who then hands the ball off to a wide receiver, running in the opposite direction. The draw is when the quarterback drops back as if to pass, but instead hands the ball off to the back, who then takes advantage of a defense that is defending the pass. The sweep is when the quarterback hands off the ball to a back who is in motion and running around his lineman, relying especially on his tackle to contain the end of the line, allowing him to beat the defense to the corner.
Fourth and 1, Giants just brought the offense back out. Kia halftime shows coming up with Chris Berman. Highlights of the Broncos win over the Chargers. Update the NFL playoff story. Another installment of the main event. Kenny Mayne. It's going to be on Jerry Rice. Both Kenny and Jerry involved with that Dancing with the Stars coming up on ABC after the first of the year. So Sterling, Tom Coughlin had the kicking unit out to go for the field goal, but now brings the offense out for 4th and a yard and a quarter, I'll say.
I told you we were going to see a desperate football team, Mike. They were going to come out and pull all the stops. Tom Coughlin told us we got everything in the game plan, and this is one of those statement-type plays that they want to go into the playoffs with some momentum.
Jim Finn is the fullback for the Giants. Eli adjusts the play. No draw off, just trying to draw him off, and The Giants will take the timeout and attempt the field goal, likely from 37 yards.
I'd still fake it. Send a message, Mike.
Well, if you're just joining us as you doll yourself up for your New Year's Eve celebration, here are the big plays early on. Tiki Barber, the 95-yard run. A Giants record, taking out a 75-year record. And look at the Monty Toomer and Plexico Burress blocking downfield. This Chris Carr near fumble on the ensuing kickoff was reviewed. They did throw the challenge flag. Moss and the Raiders got it back. Kerry Collins hit all 5 passes on the drive. Randy scored, tied it at 7. Eli Manning then comes back after missing Plexico Burress on the play before. They hook up for a 78-yard score. The Raiders offense has gone in neutral. Jay Feely on for the field goal to make it 20-7. So 2 field goals for Feely, and the Giants have scored on their last 4 possessions.
Tiki Barber is having an outstanding half. I mean, a 10-yard average should tell you he's having an outstanding day. But I think Tom Coughlin is definitely setting tone and tempo for what we're going to see from the New York Giants in the playoffs, and that is that the offense is going to run through Tiki Barber, and when they throw it, they definitely want to try and get back to the Plexico Burress way of doing things. And he's come up big tonight. Plex has really come up big tonight.
You mentioned Sean Alexander in Seattle as your MVP over Barber. Is that MVP for running backs, or the entire league? Does that include the quarterbacks as well?
That includes the quarterbacks as well. I think he's number 1, and I think Carson Palmer would be my number 2.
Good.
I think Tiki Barber would be number 5, and you can put Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, any way you want to in there. But I just think what Sean Alexander has been able to do running the football, and we've basically gone unnoticed. And everybody was talking about the Seattle Seahawks and what their record is when they have to travel to the East Coast, and no one begged to think about what everybody's record would be having to come out west. And I think that's a big the reason for that is Sean Alexander and the way he's been able to run the football.
That's a great quote this week. Everybody's going to have to make the long flight to Seattle if they want to get to Detroit in Super Bowl 40. Carr, who has run with a great purpose after fumbling earlier, is brought down just shy of the 30. Justin Tuck makes the tackle. 1 minute, 50 seconds remaining as the Raiders return. Full complement of timeouts, and Randy Moss only thrown 3 times here tonight, Sterling.
And that's disappointing. That's disappointing because when you got him in the offseason, you got him to use him to open up everyone else, the things he kind of did for the Minnesota Vikings. And that's not happening because he's not getting the opportunities to have the football in his hand or thrown in his direction.
See what Kerry Collins and the Raiders can muster. They had a nice 2-minute drive. Collins hit as he threw, but it's caught by Doug Gabriel working the Giants secondary and into New York territory at the 47. Jabril Wilson brought the pressure again from the safety spot, but a nice job by Collins to hang in there. Gain of 24.
Very nice throw and catch. I mean, Kerry Collins is standing in there under a lot of pressure and delivering beautiful footballs.
Right back to Gabriel, but is caught a couple of yards shy of the first down. 1:18, and the Raiders will use the first of their 3 timeouts with 76 seconds.
I'm impressed with what Kerry Collins has done in this football game, this big game versus his old team. A lot of pressure, and he's going to stand in there, deliver an outstanding strike, an unblocked blitzer coming in, getting a free hit on your quarterback. He stands in there. He's paying attention to what's going on in front of him, not watching the rush, and delivers a beautiful football to Doug Gabriel to get them out of that end zone and get them an opportunity to make points. Look at that throw. I mean, you don't throw it much better than that I don't think you can throw it any better than that under pressure. And Kerry Collins is allowing the football game to come to him. He was emotionally charged talking to us about that game, about this game. He was jacked up, and he's allowing the football game to come to him and playing beautiful.
That giant career where he took the team to a division title in Super Bowl 35 5 years ago, and then when Eli Manning was the desired get for Ernie Accorsi, the GM, Collins was offered a chance to back him up, didn't take it. Pass incomplete, intended for Justin Fargas out of the backfield. He's only caught 1 ball all year. 3rd and 2 coming up. And just to go back over the story, you know, the draft day trade with San Diego and Phillip Rivers, and here's Kerry Collins watching this all go down, knowing essentially that the Giants are saying we want the quarterback of the future, not the quarterback of the present. And Kerry Collins would have had to take a role that Kurt Warner ended up taking, being the guy who eventually was going to get eased out as the season went on.
Exactly.
He didn't want that. Ended up here, backing up Rich Gannon, and has been the Raiders starter since. 3rd and 2. As Collins throws the quick hit, it is complete, and again is Gabriel for the first down at the 30 with 1 minute left. And let's see if the Raiders can take a timeout here. Yes, they will. They'll take their second and have 1 remaining.
Poised in the pocket, command of the throws. Doing an outstanding job, Kerry
Collins has thrown to Gabriel 3 times now, catches of 24, 8, and 9 yards. A little bit of a look at what he has done.
Big arm quarterback. And you know what? North Turner told us that he didn't throw these routes very well. The little dink and dunk kind of routes. He didn't throw those well because he's a big arm guy, wants to push it down the field. But tonight, he's done a very nice job of standing in there and delivering the football with authority. Outstanding throw over the top of the back of the end zone to Randy Moss right here. And I think Kerry Collins has settled into this game beautifully and allowing it to come to him and not forcing throws.
Certainly the weapons for the deep ball threat. It has not materialized and dusted off the Raider days of old as some thought. Umanura pushes the pocket. The throw is a catch and out of bounds to Randall Williams at the 23. Sam Ryan, what a great story Kerry told us about when he found out that Eli Manning was drafted.
This is how it all transpired, Mike. You know, he was telling me he was actually changing the dirty diaper of his 6-week-old daughter 2004 draft day when he heard that the Giants made the trade for Eli Manning. So you can imagine what he was saying next. We will not repeat that, but he said, you know, it was hard for him not to take it personally because he knew they were looking ahead to the future. He knew they were looking to the next 10 years, but he felt like he had some good games for the Giants. He was the quarterback who brought them to the Super Bowl.
2nd and 3, has time to throw and throws complete again to Gabriel, again for a first down. They'll preserve this 1 timeout here as we're getting down to 40 seconds. 2 shots at the end zone here, so no panic. As Collins steps up, Strahan with a hand up by the face mask, and that will be called.
Now is it the 15 or the 5? I think that could be the 15.
If it would be 15, it would be half the distance to the goal. See what Pete Morelli says.
Personal foul. Face mask. Number 92, defense. Half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
And Michael Strahan, one of Kerry Collins' good buddies,
yes.
Guys who have stayed in touch. Close to getting hooked there by Chad Slaughter in for Gallery, but he did certainly change the body direction of Collins.
Oh, yeah.
Deserved the flag at half the distance. You know, it's a funny story about Kerry hearing that as he was changing the dirty diaper. He could have been doing play-by-play of what he was doing, and it would have described his emotions. It's rare that a play-by-play call describes emotions, but
it would have been absolutely perfect back in that situation.
So it'll be 1st and goal for the Raiders. This would be a huge touchdown. Get them back in the game. The Giants get the ball first to start the second half. When you get down here, you start thinking, where's Randy Moss? He'll be at the top of your screen. With Jerry Porter at the bottom.
I like the tight end in this situation, Mike, in the middle of the field. I mean, big body guy.
They're helping over towards Moss, so Collins looks and throws. Incomplete. In and out of the hands of Randall Williams, the tight end. As all the attention to Moss, he came across and brought defenders with him. And Williams had a chance at 6.
I was taught this a long time ago, Mike. Great players don't get to determine when they're going to be great. And right here is an opportunity for him, for Mr. Williams to be great. And he just didn't come up with the catch. Thrown low and away, perfect. Allowed to go down and make the catch and protect himself. You must. I don't care what level of football you play, you must make that catch.
Doug Gabriel goes with Moss to the top of the screen. Porter near side. Williams on the bench. Collins throws for Gabriel. Can he get his feet in bounds? Yes! Touchdown Raiders!
And Coach Tom Coughlin is not very happy right now. He is not happy at all at either the soft coverage or lack of pressure or defense in general, but outstanding throw by Kerry Collins, and Doug Gabriel has been his guy. Oh, that's textbook, baby. Don't get much better than that right there. Doesn't get any better than that right there. I mean, you don't have to be Randy Moss to make that catch. You just have to be a wide receiver in the National Football League, Mike, and called upon.
Maybe buzzed down the last 2 minutes. Replay happens upstairs.
Viewing the previous play.
Yep. So no need to challenge for the Giants, and they will review it. This is the proper use of the whole concept of replay. When you got the quick look, stop the game to decide, because it's certainly a game changer. Gabriel could be at 3 touchdowns for the year, but let's see.
This is different right here, ladies and gentlemen. And I mean, he doesn't move it, get his feet down. He's not trying to tuck it. Does a great job. That's a catch. That's a catch on Saturday night, NFL, on Friday night, high school, Monday night if you're doing a game, a bowl game. That right there is a catch. And he's looking at his feet as he caught the football. Oh, that's special right there.
He holds the ball, and then as he comes down, completes the act of a catch as he rolls over.
2 feet inbound.
Oh, that's special right there, Mike.
You know, and I was just, as you were looking at that replay, guys, maybe the first angle that we showed to see if both feet do in fact touch the ground.
I believe he gets them both in, Mike. I mean, we got catch, we got left down, we got right down, tap.
You know, does that, the foot that is his right foot to the left as you watch the screen, does that ever touch down?
Right there. It's down. Come on, Mike, it's down. Don't take a catch from me. Come on. Man, they're hard to come by. And you know what's interesting is Plexico Burris said he was going to watch Randy Moss play, because, you know, you may see some things that you may never see again. You might want to watch Doug Gabriel, because he's been hot on this drive. He's been Kerry Collins' favorite target.
Are you sure this foot comes down, Sterling?
Oh, it's down. It's down, Mike. It's a catch right there. Down right there.
All right, you think that's touching?
Oh yeah, that's
very hard. It's you know, these new fields, the synthetic fields with the rubberized base, really do help in replay situations, because when you drag a foot, some of the rubber pellets come up, so it really gives you a good indication of that.
But that's a tap. That's not a drag. That's that old on the side wide receiver tap that those real cute receivers used to do. You know, we grunts, we used to drag and dig up the turf. But I thought it was an outstanding catch and throw, and I thought he got both. I mean, it looks like he got both feet down. I mean, that right there would be, you know, last time we were here, the Raiders in this situation had a touchdown taken away from them.
Great point.
That they ended up losing that game to Kansas City. That was a huge play in that football game.
That was the opening game to the Chiefs. Part of the Raiders' poor start to the season. They opened 0-3.
It's a touchdown, Mike.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
So an extra point away from a 6-point game. 71-yard drive. Kerry Collins was 6 of 8 on that drive. I think he was 5 of 5 on the touchdown drive as well. So this Raider team that couldn't score a touchdown to save its life has found Doug Gabriel as the ingredient in the offense to keep them in it. Sebastian Janikowski adds the extra point, and it's a 6-point game with 19 seconds left.
And they will not go away, Mike, and that's what the Giants feared. The Giants feared this talent on the offensive side of the football, and the Giants feared that if they didn't come out and raise the tempo and the level of play early, that the Oakland Raiders were going to feel like they could play with the Giants, and they were going to hang in here. And here we are, a 6-point football game, and the Oakland Raiders have to feel very confident about what they're doing, both offensively and defensively.
Well, you know, John Gruden had the Raiders going there for a while, and then Bill Callahan took over and took them to the Super Bowl, defeated soundly by Gruden's Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and since then it has been a disaster for the Raiders. But it's a trend that has continued. The team losing the Super Bowl, that plug gets pulled, and it's just, wow, we were so close. Injuries, whatever it has been, has built up, and you see that the Giants haven't won a division since they got to the Super Bowl in 2000, and the Raiders, not only did they have the 4-12 season afterwards, they've had a couple of awful seasons after that as well.
After that as well, yeah. And you look at this Raider team, and with the talent that they have, there's no way this is a 4-win football team. But, you know, at this time of the year, you are what your record says you are, and they're a football team with a lot of talent that doesn't show up to make plays every Sunday. Doug Gabriel just made an outstanding play, and they're going to need more of that tonight to win this football game.
Janikowski with the kickoff. Chad Morton fields it at the 16. And he's brought down to the 29-yard line by Moreeeee, the backup fullback. 13 seconds, 1 timeout left for the Giants. Bill Parcells should have patented that phrase. You are what you are.
Yes, you are.
At this point in the season, you are exactly what you've done. The Raiders, as a matter of fact, Sterling, have the worst 3-year run here now after getting to the Super Bowl.
And you know what's really bad about that 3-year run is not only throughout the league the games that they have lost, but in the division. When you can't compete in your own division, when you can't build a football team to compete in your division, you stand no chance once you go outside the division, and you certainly don't stand a chance of making playoffs.
Giants go out of the gun here, and we'll hand it off to Barber, who will get to the 30, and that will do it for the first half. So the Giants piled up over 320 yards of total offense. Tiki Barber ended up with 188 yards from scrimmage in the first half, but the Raiders bounced back with Doug Gabriel's touchdown. 20-14 Giants. Now here's Chris Berman and the Kia halftime show. Happy New Year, Swah.
Thank you, Michael. You and Sterling and Sam and everybody out in Oakland, everybody out there. Happy New Year to you and yours. Last couple hours here in the east of 05, and we hope that the new year makes you healthy, wealthy, and wise. Certainly not necessarily in that order, but certainly healthy first. Hey, healthy Denver Broncos want to remain that way going into the playoffs. So you figure it's a game they, quote, don't have to win. Well, they showed that they meant business as they went out to San Diego against a tough Charger team. Denver Broncos want to remain that way going into the playoffs. So you figure it's a game they, quote, don't have to win. Well, they showed that they meant business as they went out to San Diego against a tough Charger team, the only team to defeat the Indianapolis Colts when they were full rostered and undefeated. Jake Plummer played about a half. Drew Brees dislocated his shoulder when he was hit by John Lynch on the blitz. Sam Brandon fell on it for Denver. Take another Lynch, the San Diego native, coming back and playing in the one-time stadium he went to as a kid. That was the Murph. See it again. Brees heads to the locker room. Phillip Rivers has to come into play. Meanwhile, Tatum Bell scored once. No, he scored twice. 14-0 the Broncos. LaDainian Tomlinson indicated later some cartilage problems in his ribs, but he breaks the franchise record of touchdowns. He's now got 20 in 1 year, breaking the old mark of Chuck Muncie, who had 19. Certainly had a nose for the goal line. Lynch attacks Rivers from the other side. It's a fumble. It's a safety, and the Broncos go on to win 23-7, rushing for 157 yards. Fourth time in the 46-year history of the Broncos. They've won 13 or more, 3 under Mike Shanahan. Indy, Denver, they get the byes, you already know. Cincy and New England play tomorrow. New England can leapfrog the Bengals to the 3 seed if Cincy loses at Kansas City. Jacksonville is 5. Pittsburgh wins against Detroit and they're in, but Kansas City, by virtue of Denver's win over San Diego, goes into tomorrow's game against Cincinnati, still alive, so they'll probably come out with fire at Arrowhead. They've won 18 straight regular season games in December or January at home. NFC, you know the story. You're watching tonight. Seattle and Chicago. By the way, Kyle Orton's going to start that game in Minnesota tomorrow for Chicago. They're already the 2 seed. Seattle's the 1 seed. Tampa wins. They beat the Saints. They win the South. They be the 3 seed. The Giants, you know, they win the division. If they win tonight, be the 4th seed if Tampa wins. Carolina controls their own destiny for a playoff berth, as does Washington. Washington can win the division if the Giants lose tonight. Dallas hoping either Carolina or Washington loses to make that Sunday night game on ESPN against St. Louis something that they need to win and get in. Bowl games, 3 of them today.
This is the Kia Halftime Show.
Yo, football fans, Stuart Scott and Little Steven Van Zandt, getting ready for the fattest, biggest New Year's party Times Square has ever seen. Sports and rock and roll collide as we bring you the best from 05 and count them down at 2006, Little Steven.
That's right, Stu. We're going to have performances from some of my favorite bands. That's right, from Little Steven's Underground Garage. And not to mention our Go-Go Girls.
Calm down now, calm down. Finally, a New Year's party for sports and rock and roll fans.
That's right.
So kick it with us live from the Hard Rock in Times Square following the Giants and the Raiders.
Right here.
Happy New Year, Stu.
the Giants get the ball to start the third, leading the Raiders 20-14. Sam Ryan down on the sideline. Mike Tirico, Sterling Sharp here in the booth. So here's the half for the Giants. They wanted to be in this position to control. Those Giants eyes. Now Eli Manning, the man who replaced Collins in New York, gets a chance to lead the Giants to a division title as a second-year quarterback. A lot to ask from someone. Barber tries to gallop through the hole. He's tripped after a gain of a couple, and here's Sam Ryan.
Yeah, Mike, and I spoke to Tom Coughlin coming out of the half. He said defensively, we've got to tighten up coverage, more pressure on the quarterback, more pressure on Kerry Collins. Offensively, he said, field position will be key here in the second half. We can't have our offense out there and just coming away with field goals. We got to get it in the end zone.
As the Giants try to get going on this opening drive, Sam, Tommy Kelly is shaken up for the Raiders, and their defensive tackle is down. While we have a second, let's look at what the Giants' big performers have done. How's Manning played in the first half, Sterling?
I like what they're doing with Eli. They're allowing him to get the football out of his hands. 8 of 13, 176 yards, doing what he needs to do to manage the football game, because Tiki Barber is definitely the star of the Giants show, and everything is going to go through him.
As they continue to look at Kelly, here is the performance from Barber here tonight.
Little F delay right here, allowing Tiki Barber one-on-one versus the linebacker, pick up a huge 3rd and long. Here's the running play, forces Stuart Schweigert to miss a tackle just outside the hole, and then the speed to get down the sideline and the punt returner mentality to set up his blocks takes it in for a beautiful 95-yard run.
The second longest touchdown in Giants history, Earl Morrall to Homer Jones, the season opener in 1966.
Wow. Earl Morrall to Homer Jones.
It's a 98-yard score. That's the only touchdown longer than that 95-yarder by Barber. Barber had an 87-yard touchdown catch from Kent Graham back in the 98 season.
Kent Graham?
Yes.
Wow. You're pulling out all the stops here on New Year's Eve.
The Giant history book is one of the greats in sports. So much fun to look through. It was also, as Barber carries and is brought down to 35, the longest run for a touchdown ever against the Raiders as well.
There's a lot of records that have been set against the Raiders in the last 2-3 years, Mike, and if they don't show some fire, desire, and get some playmakers in here on the defensive side of the football and find an offensive identity, there will be more records set on this football team.
There's the first chance to set the tone of the second half for Oakland. 3rd and 3 as the Giants go. 3 receivers. Again, no Jeremy Shockey, out with the ankle injury. Against man coverage, Burris is denied. Nnamdi Asomugha come up with the play one more time, and the Giants will kick it away.
Big on big, and Nnamdi does a very good job of staying inside. Now watch him play his hands. That's the toughest route in football, to try to defend. Just play his hands, go to his hands, knock the football away, get off the field on 3rd down. The Oakland Raider defense is giving the football back to their offense.
So Jeff Fiegels set to kick it to Chris Carr. Fair catch called for and made by Carr. The kick was 43. And the Raiders will take over at their own 22. Doug Gabriel was the star in the first half. Randy Moss only 2 catches, but 1 was a touchdown.
It's 3 weeks before he plays himself back into really good NBA game shape. As he takes it down the lane and gets the big hammer dunk with the right hand.
You don't know what in the world you're talking about. Did you just see that play?
Bowen's done an excellent job on him. He just run away from Parker until he gets into the basket area.
Oh, Duncan with the left hand. And Parker setting him up beautifully with behind the back pass.
They're going to get to stay home and watch to get a first-round bye. The handoff, I should say McGee on a run back. Sideline. McGee. He's gone. Terrence McGee.
Blitz coming. Bowler hangs in there and throws. And it's going to be a touchdown. Mark White got away from 2 defenders and went straight to the end zone.
And there's a rarity. What a catch.
And
Mazda, always the soul of a sports car.
Happy New Year from the Bay Area, where the weather was awful at the Golden Gate Bridge and at San Francisco International Airport today. Wind gusts clocked at 59 miles an hour. Heavy rain, been dry throughout. Zach Crockett carries for about 4 yards. Nick Bryson comes up with the tackle. Kerry Collins good at the beginning and end of the first half.
Did a very nice job throwing the football outside. Strong arm throw right there to Doug Gabriel. Stepping and throwing, very decisive on the outside to Joey Porter, to Jerry Porter making a play. And then the over-the-top throw to Randy Moss back of the end zone. Doesn't get any better for that, Kerry Collins and the Oakland Raiders.
Gain of 4, Giants exchanging defensive personnel. 2nd and 6. As Collins has a window, it is dropped second time. Randall Williams, the starting tight end, is not hung on. Again, the Raiders starting tight end, Courtney Anderson, missing this one with an injury.
2 drops, Mike, from the tight end position of the Oakland Raiders, and they're going to need him here late in this game, maybe into the 4th quarter. So he's got to figure out a way to hang on to the football. I don't know whether it's us or you know, Saturday night football, but we had it a few weeks ago at Buffalo. We got it tonight with a tight end. Guys just don't seem to want to make plays on when we do the game.
Are you hinting that your presence affects people?
Probably. You know, when you get in that kind of light, Mike.
3rd and 6. Collins, pocket collapsing, hangs in there, but incomplete.